So Reagan understood, just as Margaret Thatcher did, that they had to win the arguments. Reagan had a very straightforward challenge, the Soviet Empire. And he set out very methodically. Everybody in the elites knew the Soviet Empire was permanent. It was impossible to take on. You had to learn to live with it. You had to create a French model called détente. You had to be reasonable. You had to be respectful. American intellectuals were fundamentally totally wrong on the nature and effectiveness of the Soviet Union. One of our leading economists actually wrote a book in 1980 saying that their economy was better than ours. Something we now know is just an absurdity. And Reagan comes along and he's asked, what's your vision of the Cold War? And he says 4 words that change history. They were words every American could understand. We win, they lose. Now, the elites were shocked. This is a horrible phrase. First of all, there's a we and a they. When what we really want is an us. That's why the other night the President, in his speech on Libya, mentions the U.S. Congress once and the Arab League and the UN 8 times. Now, I'm a historian, I'm not a lawyer. So I went back, because after all, he's a Harvard Law graduate. Very bright man. I went back and checked. I can't find Arab League in the Constitution. I did find Constant Congress. You get this whole model that the elites have. And of course, second, Reagan was talking about winning and losing. He didn't say we should marginally redistribute power between the United States and the Soviet Union to find an equitable manner for us to live together in a mutually happy and positive way. He said, I think they should lose. And then in 1983, he went to a gathering of Protestant ministers in Florida to give a very deliberate, specific speech designed to educate the American people and to defeat the American elites. And he said, it is intolerable to suggest that there is moral equivalence between a free society and an evil empire. The elites were shocked. And the elites said, how can you use terms like that? Meanwhile, in Russia, we know from Natan Sharansky, who was a prisoner in the Soviet Gulag in Siberia, that when Pravda reported an attack Reagan, that they wanted to attack Reagan for saying evil empire, and to attack Reagan, they had to say he said evil empire. And Sharansky says, the morale of the guards dropped that day, and the morale of every prisoner went up because for the first time, a Western leader had had the courage to tell the truth about the Soviet Empire. And we were so excited, we were actually tapping by Morse code on the wall so the prisoners in solitary confinement would learn that Ronald Reagan had said evil empire.
Yes.
Or as Gorbachev said many years later, we always knew we were evil, we were just surprised it was new deal. Which is, by the way, an apocryphal quote, and if the media checks it out, they'll find out he didn't say it. That's a good one. He should have said it.